The first day of the Consumer Electronics Show, or CES, always starts with a session by the CTA on tech trends. They let you know what they see coming up in the future world of consumer electronics. Now, two things so that we're on the same page. CTA stands for the Consumer Technology Association. They're the producers of the greater CES show. So in other words, these people know what they're doing when it comes to analyzing the market and seeing the trends that are coming. And they took a little bit of a futurist approach in the session, which I really enjoyed. I thought it made for a really fascinating session. I also want to make it clear that I'm giving you my perspective. I'm giving you the session through my lens, and I'm also picking out the examples that are more directly related to AI. So I'm encouraging you to seek out the materials yourself, so that way you can make your own interpretation as well as see some of the other items that I may not be including just because they weren't AI items. Here's the top takeaways I took from their session. The rise of Gen Z as an innovation factor, the US tech market growth and tariffs, the increasing uses of AI, and then another random collection of other predictions for the future, which I found very interesting. Let's start with that first one. Gen Z is being cited as a factor for an innovation for growth across the world. They make up 32% of the world's population, mostly in Latin America and in Asia. They are the first natively digital generation because of the smartphone. They are early tech adopters and take pride in owning the latest devices. And they are also 2.5 times more likely to make a tech purchase if it has some sort of sustainability component like recycled materials or zero carbon footprint, things along those lines. Said another way, tech is essential for the Gen Z lifestyle and used to express who they are. And given the large numbers, they are definitely a driver for a lot of the consumer electronics growth that we see. Now, I know that I have a lot of Gen Z followers in my demographics. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Do any of these items apply to you? Are there other items that you think contribute to Gen Z being a factor for technology growth? I'd like to hear from you. Now, for the US tech market, the CTA is optimistic that the market will continue its growth trend. It's been on an upward trend for a couple of years now. They are predicting the size of the market to be $537 billion for 2025. However, they are also very, very cautious around potential tariffs by the new administration. If the new tariffs do come to pass, they predict that various consumer electronics sectors will take big hits. For example, in video game console sales, they predict a drop of 58%. When it comes to smartphones, they're predicting a drop of about 35%. Needless to say, these are very large numbers, and I'm sure that those tariffs are something that the CTA and everybody else in the consumer electronics industry will be watching very, very closely. Now, let's talk about AI. CTA sees AI growth in three individual segments that they cited: AI agents, digital twins, and humanoid robots. Now, you can sell me on AI agents and digital twins. I think I'm going to see a lot more of the show as the week progresses. But when it comes to humanoid robots, if you've seen my content before, then you know that I'm not very optimistic about them. I'm actually quite pessimistic that humanoid robots are very far up into the future as far as having robots that are actually in your home and serving some sort of tangible value. So I may disagree with them a little bit on that timeline horizon, but I do like how they laid out those three sectors for AI growth. Now, finally, the session also closed with a collection of a couple of items that really caught my attention. The most bold comment that I heard tonight is that GLP-1 drugs, like Ozempic and other drugs that are currently helping people lose weight in a novel way, are competing with AI as the most transformative technology available to us as humans. Now, that's quite a bold statement, but as both a data scientist and someone who's overweight, and let's be honest, a lot of us are overweight, I appreciate the comparison. I appreciate that there are people out there that are having a lot of success on GLP-1 drugs. That's undeniable. The change that can bring to their lives, the lives of their families, the communities around them, so on and so forth, is definitely something that's a massive benefit. Maybe almost as beneficial as having an AI digital twin or other AI tools that are available to us. Now, they also talked a little bit about cars, and they cited how cars are more increasingly being software defined. Now, that's their term, not my term. I don't want to take credit for it. I think it's a great term. But the software that is contained within cars is definitely being viewed as a differentiator and a competitive advantage. The beauty of that is that some of that technology is also being used for other purposes. So for example, the example that they gave in the session is that not every blind person is eligible to get help from a guide dog. So there are companies out there that are using some of that driving automation technology to create new tools that can help a blind person better navigate the world. Now, I think that problem is significantly more achievable in terms of a valid solution than a fully autonomous vehicle. So I would support that type of research, even though I'm not really optimistic on automated vehicles in the near future. Now, the final conclusion of the entire presentation, and one I think that is really hard to disagree with, is that innovation is becoming much more human-centric. If you can define a human need, then the tools will follow in turn. The technology and electronic tools will follow in turn. I really like the way they put that, and I think it was a very fitting end to a very informative and very fascinating session. What do you think? Do you agree with these items? Let me know in the comments below. I'll see you next time.